What's up guys, and welcome to this video. Okay, so this video is a little bit different from other videos. So basically what I have here is an exam from the DBE, or the Department of Basic Education in South Africa, and the IEB, which is the Internal Examination Board in South Africa. Okay, and both of them, basically the DBE is followed by private government schools, while the IEB is followed by private schools. Okay, and there's often a misconception that the syllabus taught by both of these bodies are different, whereas they aren't. And so IEB students can often use DBE exams, and DBE students can use IEB exams to study, but often they don't, just because they think that there's a difference. So basically the plan here forward is for me to go through some DBE exams, because I've gone through the IEB exams for physics already. And basically I just want to make sure that everyone knows that the two or the syllabus for both of them are very similar. So if you run out of questions, you can always just switch between different past papers, and that's always a good idea, because you don't want to just get used to one way of questioning just in case the exam changes or examiners change. So basically I have got the 2018 exams for both of them are in November. The DBE is for 150 marks, whereas the IEB is for 200 marks, and the time allocation is 3 hours each. Okay, so the mark allocation doesn't really matter, and the reason why I chose these papers also don't matter. They were truly random. Okay, so if we go into the papers, okay, so both of them start off with some multiple choice, and basically let's just skip over the multiple choice for now. And if we get into let's actually first take a look at the DBE exam, and what we have here is question 2 is basically on forces. Okay, so on forces, Newton's laws. Okay, and we see here that the IEB question 4 is also on forces and Newton's laws. This is on question 3 is on kinematics here for the IEB. Okay, and question 1 is also on kinematics. Okay, so if we continue going, this question looks like it's also on Newton's laws. Maybe Newton's. Also, it looks like there might be some kinematics down here. So already we have Newton's laws showing up in both exams and kinematics. Here we have some impulse, momentum. Okay, if we keep going, here we have some impulse and momentum. Okay, and on the left hand side, the IEB also, question 5 continues with the momentum and impulse ideas, and question 4 for the GD or the DBE was also on that. Once again, we have free body diagrams, some work, energy, power showing up. On the IEB side, question 6 is on fields or gravitational fields, or just fields in general. Okay, if we keep going with the with the GDE, here we have okay, so this section is on waves. This is not covered by the IEB, and I won't be going through that either. But question 7 is on fields, specifically on electric fields. Okay, so with fields, both exams will either have electric fields or gravitational fields. It's very seldom that you see both. So in this case, the IEB had gravitational fields, while the DBE had electric fields, but that could have easily switched over. Then question 7 here for the IEB is on circuits or electric circuits. Okay, here we continue with some fields, and there we have electric circuits coming up on the government school side, and that continues. Okay, so we have some electrodynamics on the, and here we go, electrodynamics as well. Okay, so far there hasn't really been anything much different. Both exams have covered basically the same thing. Here, let's keep going, and we have photons and electrons. Okay, and I mean, these questions are very similar if you even look at the breakdown of what they look like. And we have photons and electrons once again coming up here. We have photons and electrons on the government's, the IEB side, and that's the end of both papers. So, I mean, as you can see, we basically covered both papers, just going through them briefly, and both papers have got exactly the same sections. Okay, there might be more emphasis on certain sections in the government school and the other ones in the private schools, but they both cover basically the same thing. So even with the multiple choice, here we have some gravitational fields. Here we've got some momentum stuff coming up. Yeah, so it's very interchangeable, and you definitely can rely on both sets of papers. So I wouldn't say that if you are following the IEB syllabus that you can't go into the DBE syllabus and pull out some questions as practice. It's very interchangeable, and yeah, like I said, there's just one or two sections that, such as waves, that do come up that were not covered by the IEB or aren't in the IEB syllabus, and that won't be covered by me. But yeah, so I hope you guys understand the point I'm trying to make is basically that both papers consist of exactly the same level of difficulty, as well as the same content is being covered. So yeah, so if you see some DBE exams coming up or IEB exams, and you're in the other school, you may use both sets of exams. So yeah, I think that's the end of my quick discussion on using either of the exam sets. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.